Welcome to Queer Next, the podcast that puts the yeehaw in y'all means all. I'm your host, Beck.
And I am your host, Dash. Welcome to today's episode. I cannot play it cool when my back is injured. Not back, I guess. It's my shoulder, and it's like a muscle that's all wrapped around the nerve. You know that feeling when you bang your funny bone on something?
Mm-hmm.
That's what my shoulder has felt like for 6 days.
Oh, bless your heart. That sucks.
I knew that like a massage would help, but I don't know how to get one. Like, I don't know how people arrange those. And especially here, there's not like, people don't keep websites or anything. So I just called a chiropractor and I said, "Do you know a massage therapist?" And they gave me some woman's number. And so I texted her. And so I went and saw her on Tuesday. Like, as soon as she like felt of it, she goes, like, multiple times under her breath, she goes, "Oh my God."
That's always good.
Yeah, it's what you want to hear. And she's like, "Have you ever been diagnosed with anything?" And I was like, "I have a connective tissue disorder." And she goes, "Is it Ehlers-Danlos syndrome?" And I was like, "It is." And she was like, "Yeah, there's only one thing that could lead to this." Phew, my God, she pummeled me too. And then she put those cups. Have you ever had this done?
No, I've never had a massage.
Yeah, this is my first like real one. Normally back home, I just find somebody bigger than me to beat up on me, and
Right.
don't quite have that connection here. But I mean, she was strong as hell, and she took her thumbs and stuck them right in the middle of the muscle, and then put all of her weight on them. And I was like, I both love and hate you. But the cup thing, I've heard of it, but obviously never had it done before. And just out of the blue, she goes, "I think I need to cup you." And I was like, that is such a terrifying sentence. Because it was a long time before I understood what she meant, but I was too nervous to ask her what she was talking about. I was like, "Oh, okay." And so she was like, "It's gonna hurt." And I was like, "All of this has hurt. Are you telling me you got something worse than what you've already been doing to me?" All right. And it was a grade A funky ass feeling, because it goes on your skin, and then she like, there's a pump. I don't know if it's a pump or, because I couldn't see it, obviously. She could have been turning a crank too. And it just sucks your whole muscle up into it. And it hurts. It feels just like a titty twister, but on your back. And then she just leaves it there. It was on there for like 10 minutes.
Oh, wow. Do you have bruises?
Oh, yeah. Here, hang on. I took it. She put 4 of them on there, but the first one, I don't know if it's the first one she put, the one she left on the longest or what, but it's right on the shoulder. I don't know if you'll be able, it looks like a
Well, Lord.
Giovanni's pizza. Pepperoni. Because she said, like, "Yeah, you'll have some hickeys." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure I will. That makes sense." But also with EDS, like, the capillaries are really close to the skin and bust pretty easy. And I just like, all right, I'm going to stand up from here and it's going to be all better. Surely to God, after all that. No. She's like, "You got to come back next week."
Oh, wow. I had a hell of a day myself.
Yeah.
So I'm giving exams this week, midterms in both of my classes, in all 4 sections. And so on Tuesday, I printed them all up and I put them in envelopes. That way I keep them from getting rippled or whatever. And so I grabbed the 2 packets for my ethnic studies class today, threw them in my backpack, got to campus, and started handing out the exams. And they were like, "Oh?" And I had brought the women's studies exams to the ethnic studies class.
No.
And I had left their exams here in my apartment. So I had to dismiss the class, and I said, "I guess you guys will just take it Tuesday." So that's going to eat up a whole nother day. And I let them leave early. And then I booked it back here to where I live and got the exams for the second class because I had an hour in between. And so I barely made it back, and I had to get parking twice and had to walk across campus twice. And it was just a comedy of errors.
That's some ADHD shit right there.
Yeah. For real. Because I swear I double checked that I had the right ones. But it is what it is. On Monday, I forgot my flash drive for the first time this semester.
Oh, get one and put it on your keychain.
Yeah, well, I would probably leave my keys hanging. I'm pretty good about it. One semester, I went through 4 flash drives in one semester. But this semester, I haven't forgotten it until this Monday. And of course, it was the day that Canvas was down, so I couldn't go in and get it off their course shell. So I had to call Shanna and I was like, hey, get in my computer. Cause I don't take my computer with me to class because there's no reason to carry it across campus, you know? And so I couldn't get in my email or I couldn't get into my OneDrive and I couldn't get into Canvas. So I had to have her email me it. It's been a trying few days.
Was that Amazon outage, the AWS
Yeah.
outage?
Yeah, it had Canvas down too.
Yeah, it had us too. Boy, that's something when one company can take out the whole information grid.
Amazon is very powerful.
Yeah. My guitar finally showed up.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I can't play it because my arm's frozen, but
Oh.
it's here and it's beautiful. Did you see that thread on our Facebook of the Kentucky Derby horse names?
Yeah, I was part of it.
Okay, I thought you were on there. That was really cracking me up, and I would like to read some of the favorites. So this, if you don't follow us on Facebook or I posted it, I didn't do this one on Instagram. I don't have them linked together. I just posted someone had said your Kentucky Derby horse name is a symptom of one of your mental illnesses plus the last thing you ate. And these are so irresistible to me sometimes. And so I put inattentive sausage with hypervigilant eggs. We got manic Dorito, which that just sounds like a flavor that they would actually make.
At Taco Bell.
Yeah. Come and get the manic Dorito Baja Blast Crunch.
Yeah, exactly.
Executive dysfunction coffee, panic attack breakfast sandwich. Yours, dissociation McGriddle. Anxiety soup in the lead. What does in the lead mean?
I
In the
don't know.
lead? I don't understand that one. McCall, tell me what you're talking about, bro. Constant vigilance garden veggie tortilla chip. That is a legit derby name, like stress toast. I love that one. That's a great band name, I thought.
Yeah.
Dissociating pancake. Irritable tuna salad. Oh god, this one's killed me. Anxiety cracker.
We serve everyone here.
Oh man. Procrastination pizza. That's a pretty good one.
I've ordered many of those in my day.
Yeah, right. Emotional dysregulation quesadilla. Oh, it's of course some fancy actual doctor, psychologist comes in with something I have to Google. Perseveration spam. What is perseveration? Sabrina, you're making me feel stupid. It's a thought process disorder. Consistent repetition of thoughts, words, or actions despite attempts to stop or change them.
Oh, I have that.
Yeah.
I do a thing with food. It might not be exactly the right thing here, but I go through patterns where I'll eat one thing for sometimes it's 2 weeks, sometimes it's 6 months. And I will eat
Right.
the same thing every single day, and then I never want it again after that, or very sparingly.
All over the summer, I ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with a glass of milk or a bowl of cereal. That was it. That was what I ate all summer long.
My most disgusting one was I ate Wendy's chili for 6 months straight.
I mean, that's not really disgusting.
It is after 6 months.
It's a bit hardcore.
Yeah. Every day I wanted it, and now I can't even stomach the thought of it. Like, I'm sure it's tasty and delicious or whatever. I just cannot. I have had my lifetime supply of it.
Was it because you were like, I can't wait to get that sweet taste in my mouth, or was it because like I know how to do this because I did it yesterday?
No, it's a craving for that actual
Oh,
food.
okay. Yeah, I don't think that's why I do it. I think it's because like muscle memory, like, oh, I did this yesterday, so I know I knew how to do it today because feeding myself is a struggle just like every other damn thing the average person can do just fine, and I apparently can't.
Yeah, no, I hyperfixate on individual foods. When I was a kid, I don't know if you had Big Bear grocery stores where you were. There
Mm-mm.
were a chain of grocery stores. We had a Big Bear, and they made in their bakery, they made these rolls, and they came in a circle, and they were like one in the out layer and then a middle layer and then a very middle layer. And
Oh,
I am a
yeah.
sucker for the inside parts of bread, right? Because, a fat girl. And my mom would buy those for me and I would devour them. And that's all I ate for months. For months.
Yeah. I think my mom might have done what you're describing because there was this, like, for instance, dessert type thing she would make with fresh fruit and I think cream cheese and some other creamed element. I don't my brain is telling me it's sour cream, but that ain't right. Maybe it was Cool Whip or something. And she ate that, I think, every day for years. And then I haven't seen her eat it since.
Yeah. There have been some weird ones. Castleberry hot dog sauce. When they cleaned out my grandparents' house after they both passed away, they found a closet in the bathroom, and in the back of that closet was a case of Castleberry hot dog sauce because they would go and find it because I liked it so much. And my grandparents would buy it for me a case at a time because it was like 39 cents a can back in the day. Because I don't like hot dogs. I only like hot dog sauce.
The sauce. What's
Yeah.
it called? Castleberry?
Yeah. It's mostly bean.
I see. I did not eat that one growing up.
Yeah.
We did eat hot dogs, but
I just can't with a hot dog. I can't with mystery meat. I can't with lunch meats. I can't with hot dogs. If it was ever a pink slime, I'm probably not going to want to eat it. Another one of mine was rice with cinnamon and sugar and butter in it. White rice.
okay. Is there a name for that, or is this something you made?
It's something my dad used to make it. I don't know if there is a name for it, but I would get those minute rice bowls that you can get, and
Yeah.
I would add butter and cinnamon sugar.
So that's kind of like it's a little like grits, but with rice instead of corn.
Right.
I could see it. I mean, I'm sure I would never have thought to do it, but you do got to do something to that rice-a-roni minute rice stuff
Yeah.
though, because
Yeah.
it tastes like nothing.
Yeah.
And I just like with canned asparagus, I really thought that I didn't like rice because that's what we ate was the minute rice, and I was like, what is this? It tastes like worse than air.
Right. My mom wouldn't make it. It was too foreign. My mom never once made rice.
So you were introduced to it was this at the Chinese place that you went to?
Yeah. It was the first time I'd ever had rice.
Yeah, that was the first time I had real white rice that was made in the proper method, not like made once, parboiled, and then freeze dried and then remade. And I was like, oh, I get it now. I get rice. Like it has a flavor.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of rice.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
There's this guy on TikTok named Logan who makes his own kimchi.
Yeah, the bowls with the cream cheese and the cucumber.
He makes all kinds of things.
Is he the one that says sometimes you just need to eat a whole cucumber and I'm going to show you how?
I don't know.
Does he have like shock blonde hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, same guy.
That's him. One of my favorite dishes of any like Asian cuisine is kimchi. I crave it. I'm craving it right now. I actually was trying to find some, but of course you're not going to find any here. I don't know where I would get this shit.
Try Amazon.
I was just thinking that. I was like, maybe there's some subscription service that can get some food to
They have
me.
a wide variety of food items, all kinds of stuff that you can't find in the regular store.
Yeah, and kimchi, I mean, they can ship just about anything. They can ship ice cream. I know that Grater's ships ice cream to people. Like, you can order it in the mail, which is just fucking crazy.
You can get Miles Pizza in the mail now too.
Why would you, though?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm not a big fan myself, but a lot of people like it.
I know that stuff, the crust is like way too much for me. It blows my stomach up. So that it's probably a me problem.
Right.
I did have a gas station pizza today, though, so.
We've been on a Jets pizza kick. Did you ever eat that in BG?
Yeah, Jets is pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is like how often we wind up talking about.
Well, I'm a big girl. I like food.
I mean, whatever. Like, leaving that aside, food is. When I think about like going back home, just being in Appalachia, food is a big fucking deal.
Yeah. I would, if I could have my mom's biscuits and gravy one more time, like, it breaks my heart that I'll never get to have that again.
Yeah, I know. I mean, did she ever teach you how to make them?
No. But she
Yeah.
taught Shanna how to make her mashed potatoes, so at least we have that. Shanna makes the best mashed potatoes in the world. They're so good.
I've been thinking about all these people who's not gonna have their SNAP for November,
I know.
and just first of all, just how monstrous that is and heinous. Thanksgiving, I mean, whatever. Fuck yeah, Columbus. Fuck colonialism. But that's a meal some people who don't have a lot of access to food look forward to all year long. Look forward to making the big turkey. And there was casseroles that my Aunt Jenny made that I got to eat once a year, and I fucking looked forward to them. And I tried to recreate her green bean casserole because I'm like, what is it? It's just, green beans and mushrooms and some French onions, and I couldn't do it. Like, whatever she did to it was different. And now to think that, like, something that seemingly silly, right? It's not the end of the world if I can't have a gigantic turkey leg on the day that I would typically have one, but it just seems significant to me.
It's un-American. It really is.
Maybe it's not anymore.
I don't know.
But, I've seen people posting, like, here's how you can get your Thanksgiving dinner done for $40 with an Aldi. I love that shit.
Walmart's doing the same thing, though I hate to encourage anybody to shop at Walmart. That's their cost is under $40 for 10 people.
Yeah. You could also, I know that a lot of the mutual aid networks are working with food banks and whatever their network is to corral resources and some dry goods and stuff to put your meal together. It just makes it so that you have to work even more hard on something that was already harder.
Right?
Were you ever involved in the Thanksgiving Day cooking?
Yeah. When I was a little bit older, mom always had me doing stuff like making the deviled eggs
Mm.
and the small side things that I couldn't mess up too much. I was a baker, so I would usually make a dessert or two or three, and I'd make a cheese ball and the sweet potatoes, stuff the side stuff. Shannon can make a hell of a turkey. For several years, it was just me, Shannon, and my friend Jamie. You know Jamie.
Hmm.
He would come over and he would get us a big fancy bird from a farm somewhere upstate in New York, and it would be like organic or whatever. And it was the best turkey I've ever had in my life. Have you ever had a Texas sheet cake?
Yes.
That's one of my favorites. My Aunt Jenny would make that every Thanksgiving. I'm going to go see her in a couple of weeks. I have one aunt on my mom's side and one half aunt on my dad's side left. And I'm going to go see my mom's sister a couple of weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The Thanksgiving would be at somebody's different house. We had to go to like our grandmother and Papa Cooper's Thanksgiving, and then until my granny and Papa Parrot died, we went to theirs, and then after that, it became like a rotation of my mom and her sister's houses because they all lived around the Jellicoe, La Follette, Oak Ridge area for a while. So it was like what Thanksgiving was like, and whether you had duties or not depended on whose house it was at.
Right.
Did y'all do the kids' table thing?
Yeah, always. But that was usually at Christmas. At Thanksgiving, we didn't have big family ones. It would be like because everybody lived spread out. Like we lived in Portsmouth. One of my aunts lived in Columbus. One lived in North Philadelphia or New Philadelphia, Ohio. Then another set lived in Cleveland. So it wasn't feasible for everybody to get together at Thanksgiving. And there were a lot of us. I think there's like
Yeah.
15 of the 41 come from mom's side. I think it is. And so there would be a lot of us. But at Christmas, we would all get together in my grandma's tiny apartment. That was a lot of fun. She had a 2-bedroom, 1 bath in a basement apartment in this complex, and we would literally fit like 40 people in there.
Yeah, I that's something I remember. Like some years, Thanksgiving or Christmas would be so claustrophobic
Yeah,
because it's not like summer holidays, Fourth of July, where you can go outside and light things on fire and be away
right.
from people. It's like you are stuck inside. And as I got older, it got to be so much like about my gender presentation and about like whether I was going to be dating boys or anything. And I just got started to get so stressed out about like what I was going to wear. And then I stopped caring for a long time. And I just started, especially once I got into my like later 20s, I was like, I don't care. I'm just going to be how I want to. But then I started transitioning and I didn't tell anybody for like 18 months. I was still going to see them and stuff, and I would shave my beard off to do the best I could to get rid of that, and I would do vocal exercises on the drive down because I was driving from BG down to Kentucky, down to Williamsburg, Jellicoe area, and I would do vocal exercises to raise my voice back up
Wow.
on the drive down, and it didn't even work. Right? You get down there, and they're like, "What happened to your voice?" Like I just spent 6 hours trying to fix that. Oh well. And then after a point, once it fully drops, you are not doing anything to hide it. And I still hadn't really told anybody. Well, I told Vanessa. But I hadn't told mom or dad, and I certainly hadn't told my grandparents. And I didn't tell them until I moved to Carbondale, Illinois. So it was like a couple years in, and the only reason I told them was because I was having top surgery, and I was like, okay, we're committed to this now.
I'm so glad that they support you now.
Yeah. Oh my God, did you see? Vanessa sent me this. The White House posted about this like garish ballroom they're building. They posted like a timeline of major events in the life of the White House structure building. And there is this just it's hard to explain shit inserted into the timeline. There's an AI picture of Obama in a turban meeting with Al Qaeda, and it says in 2012 Obama welcomes the Muslim Brotherhood to the White House. There's one about Biden brings the transsexuals to the White House. It starts off real because I was like normal, 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 right? Like Truman did this, they built the press box stuff, and then all of a sudden it's Clinton and Lewinsky, and I was like, okay, we're doing stupid shit here. Um, I think I still have it open.
So that's why people were talking about Monica Lewinsky.
I suppose.
I buried my head in the sand this week and I've been reading all week. I read a really good book from the Gay Book Club. It's called The Prettiest Star. It was written by a trans man, and it's set in the 80s, and it's about a man, a gay man that had left his small southern Ohio town and had gone to New York City and had a full gay life and a partner and all that.
That's Carter Sickles' book.
Yeah, and then yeah, and then AIDS hit, and he comes home to die in his hometown.
Carter teaches at EKU.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I only worked with, like with him a couple times, but yeah, that's so cool. I actually haven't read that book. I only know him because I literally met him at work.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, hello."
It was a sad book, but it was well written and it was worth a read. So
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna write now that you bring that up, I'm gonna write that down. Yeah, he taught WGS with us there at EKU, and he taught some creative writing courses too. They would host like writers sort of in residence to teach courses there. Silas House was there for a while. Yeah, here's the Muslim Brotherhood visit.
oh.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they put him in blackface as well. And then tennis pavilion. uh here's poor is this Hunter Biden
Oh man.
strung out in a bathtub. It's cocaine
And this was
discovered.
shared by the White House.
This is on whitehouse.gov.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. And then here's the trans people. That's not even this is a topless woman. Why? Like are they she was not topless at the White House. What I don't know if what's happening here.
Well, I think they clearly used AI and for looking for like most popular search terms or whatever, or news items, or the Trans Day of Visibility stuff wouldn't have anything like that. Wouldn't be the top search for Biden. That's like a footnote.
The what they this is trying to say that Biden started T-Dove because they're so fucking stupid they don't know that this is a very old holiday. And so it says the Biden-Harris administration hosts transsexuals at the White House in 2023 and goes on to establish the Transgender Day of Visibility on the same day as Easter Sunday in 2024. So it's trying to like it's rage baiting, trying to make it sound like Biden created T-Dove and chose Easter Sunday, but T-Dove always falls on the same day every year, and it just happened to be Sunday that year because sometimes it is. I mean, sometimes T-Door is Thanksgiving. Are you mad about that too? Or you didn't know T-Door existed? It's fucking, we live in North Korea.
It's getting wilder by the day. I'm terrified to teach every day. I really am.
I know, I'm sure. Like you just front lines.
I did sex ed this week and I was like, what happens if somebody gets offended because I show a video that's a condom demonstration? You know what I mean? I've been showing that video for 12 years now.
Well,
They're adults, but people complain about things.
it's just and queer people, right? It's as long as it's straight, you should be fine.
Well, I tried to do an inclusive sex ed because I talk about anal sex while we talk about it. I talk about dental dams, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. And then on my last slide, I say I can't cover everything. And then I put up links to videos
Mhm.
about sex with trans people, sex with disabilities, sex with
Yeah.
autism. So that way it's asexual people. Like I put a link for all kinds of different things so that you can go and watch it yourself. But so one of my friends is teaching a pop culture, the Pop C 1600 class.
Hmm.
And he shows a video that I also show. It's probably a 10-year-old John Oliver video where he talks about the state of sex ed in America. It's a really great clip, and I show it every time I teach sex ed because it tells you like in Ohio, you only have to be medically accurate in 22 states. Like sex ed only has to be medically accurate in 22 states. That's wild to me. And so we talk about these things, right? And so John Oliver, being a comedian, because it's not the news, he makes a joke. They're talking about how it's bad if you masturbate. That's how parents would say, right? And he's like, don't forget if you masturbate, the fluid coming out are his tears, right? Talking about God's. It's funny. And somebody complained about it to my friend's boss.
God.
And I've shown that video, I don't know how many times now. You know what I mean? Like, that's my standard when it comes to teaching sex ed.
I mean, these fucking weenies, just rub some dirt on it and get used to being made fun of like the rest of us.
Yeah, I tell them first day that we're going to have some adult themes in our class. If you're uncomfortable with that, you need to find another section. We're also going to use humor a lot. And if that offends you, you need to find another section because we're going to talk about things like we talk about pornography. And I'm not going to
Yeah.
show them pornography, right? But I do show them a video of porn stars talking about the difference between porn sex and real sex. And it's a really interesting video because they basically point out that when you do porn sex, you're performing to the camera. Like you have to
Mhm.
open up to the camera and that kind of thing. When you're doing regular sex, it's much more intimate and whatever. And it's a really great video because a lot of these kids have never thought about the difference between the two and they use it as sex ed, you know? But so we're going to have adult themes. We're going to talk about adult things because you're freaking adults.
Right. And you signed up for this class.
Yeah, literally.
Like, I don't have to change my content because you don't like it. You can get the fuck out.
I'm really worried about teaching abortion. And I'm having a guest speaker this semester, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I mean, we can know that, you have the rights to do this and that all we want to, but it doesn't mean as much as it used to. Well, this is fun. Maybe we should spin the wheel of what have
You don't like talking about abortion education in Ohio?
well, god dang, this is on theme. We got Halloween
Oh,
costumes.
that's a good one.
Yeah, oh man. Well, there's a lot of documentation of some of our Halloween costumes when we were kids, a lot of pictures. My dad especially was a shutterbug. He loved to take pictures. Can you remember your very first Halloween?
There's pictographic evidence of the first time I went trick or treating. I was the youngest of three kids, and my sister was 6 years older, and my brother 3 years older. So mom dressed us. She put my sister as Mrs. Claus, my brother as Santa Claus, and she put me in a box and made me a present.
What's in the box?
Wouldn't you like to know? I was just sitting there with my arm sticking out. I have a picture of it somewhere with my arm sticking out of the box and a bow on my head.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's creative. I mean, I think I dressed as a cowboy several times. We dressed as ninjas a lot, which was I maybe cultural appropriation, probably. It's not like we put on face paint or anything, but still, we made outfits out of like spandex and mom's stocking. She dressed Vanessa up as a Southern Belle so many times.
Ugh. I would have died.
She made this hoop skirt. She took a bunch of hangers, like clothes hangers, and made a gigantic hoop out of it and put it in the hem of this skirt she made and made her wear gloves. And I mean, I say all of this, I'm speaking from my perspective. Maybe Vanessa had fun. I don't know. I would have fucking hated it.
Right?
It's likely that she tried with me. I remember we had to squeeze that thing into a shape she could get through doors. Getting out of the car and stuff, it was like up above her head. I mean, even if she felt, fierce or whatever, it can't have been a fun costume to get around in.
It feels like so much pressure to get a new costume for your kid every year.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, I remember when we dressed up like ninjas, we like put bruises all over us and we were like,
So you were bad ninjas.
yeah, we were very bad at fighting apparently.
One year I went as a punk rocker, and I remember
Yeah.
somebody made me come in their house to take a picture of me. And as an adult, I'm like, what? Let's rewind that back a little. What happened there?
Probably wouldn't happen these days, I would say.
Yeah. And then I went in the eight like I started kindergarten in 83. Yeah, 83. And Cabbage Patch Kids were brand new back then, and they had those costumes that were just the plastic mask with a string on it and a plastic cape that you would wear. I remember the picture that I've seen of me in kindergarten. I was a Cabbage Patch Kid. By the time I remember doing trick or treat. My brother and sister had quit going. Yeah, and then mom kind of petered out.
Yeah, I guess if you with a big age gap like that and you being the youngest, I went as a clown several times. I had a red nose and a wild jumpsuit and a wig. Do you remember how store-bought costumes used to be? They used to be plastic.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, the little ones.
Yeah, I used to be so jealous of those, like of the kids who could afford those, and I wanted one real bad. And then one year I managed to get one, and it was so hot. I was miserable. I
Yeah.
ripped it off. I was so fucking miserable, and I was like, never again. I mean, yeah, I think I liked it as a class signifier, but oh God, that was brutal. And I had worn it to a haunted house. So I was like running away from chainsaw wielding madmen, just sweating my ass off.
I have a memory of being taken to a haunted house when I was old enough to be still carried. So, like 5, 6 years old, and they tried to take me. All I remember is there was this long stairwell up the top and to the off the side of this building, and I got all the way to the top and was like, "Nope, nope, 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 nope," and I refused to go in.
I was actually thinking it would be fun to go to a haunted like forest or something this year. I see flyers for them around. And I have a feeling my friend Elise would go with me. Her husband would not. He's a 7 foot tall wuss. That sounds mean. He just doesn't like scary things, right? He's
Yeah.
like, I'm good. This isn't my thing. We didn't do as many like haunted houses, but we did do a lot of um decorating and going to look at decorations for Halloween. Halloween costumes when I was like old enough to choose what I wanted to be, especially like I remember in college, I got real lazy about it. And so I would just put on my own clothes, but in an unconventional combination and
Right.
build a costume.
I'm a hobo.
Yeah, right. I'm a hippie.
Yeah. I had several of those kinds of lame costumes. I just never had the kind of creativity that you needed to do that kind of thing. I love going to a gay bar on Halloween. That's like the most fun thing ever. They're
Yeah,
very crowded, but it's really fun to go. I haven't done that in probably 15, 20 years now.
I'm sure I did it. I know I went to the bar complex on Halloween a couple times. They would also do the Rocky Horror Picture Show there at the Kentucky Theater on Halloween at midnight. And I did that exactly once. And I was like, okay, that's enough. But I loved a house party. Like that was what we did in college. And that was just the culture of Richmond when I was there was house parties because they were trying to like I got there in time for them to start. You had to be 21 to get into the bars and like for my first year anyway, they was still 18 and up for everything so you could go dancing and sneak drinks and things. And then they transitioned over to 21 and up for a lot of things. They were trying to make it not a party school anymore. And so then we just switched over to house parties. And we'd get like I had some friends who were actually DJs and we would get, you know, a $75 keg of Natty Light and then it would be a party.
Right? I remember we got a keg one time for my birthday. My friend, he always liked to show off his money. And so I invited, it was my 23rd birthday, and he's like, let's get a keg. And so we had a keg, and there were like 10 of us there.
Oh
And
my God.
yeah, I was so shit faced. That night, I ended up losing my keys somewhere, and I left my car unlocked, and somebody broke into my car. And to get into my house, somebody had to climb up the side and go in through the bathroom window. She scaled the side of my house and went in
Wow.
through the second story window into my bathroom to let us in. My keys were eventually found in somebody's floorboard. But that night, like a group of people got me ready for bed. It was one of the drunkest times I've ever had in my life.
I think either I was just a super lightweight this time or whatever, but my when I was 19, I went to a Halloween party and I'm pretty sure I got roofied because it was a keg and so it was a solo cup and I had one beer and like couldn't walk home. I had to be like carried up into my dorm room
Wow.
and was sick and everything and I was like, interesting. So I'm pretty sure somebody got me.
Yeah. We got laced weed one time.
Oh god.
Yeah, they had put it in embalming fluid.
Oh, so it wasn't like PCP or something.
No, but it was still like
Yeah.
we smoked like one joint and gave it away to my friend. And then after they smoked it, they were like, "Can you get any more of that?" And I was like, "Nope."
Oh wow.
Yeah, that girl was crazy. It was a friend of a friend who I normally never bought anything from, and so we never fooled with her again.
For the drinking holidays, Halloween is unique because you got to consider your costume. So like the costume has to be party.
Friendly.
Yeah, right? Like, okay, how am I going to go pee or what happens when is my like am I going to be tripping on my tail or something? And one year I did not make a good decision because again, a lazy costume. This is another one. Oh, I cringe about this one a lot because it's very culturally insensitive because I was dressed up like a fortune teller, which is just like a shade off of, Romani, if not just dead on it. But I had just taken a bunch of sarongs and saris and tied them around me. It was difficult to maneuver as a sober person with those things all tied around me. So by the end of the night, they were mostly gone.
I just had a memory, and I don't know why this was suppressed. At one point, my mom was a shopper. We've talked about that before, and she owned the porn shop. Well, somebody gave her the opportunity to buy out the local costume store, and so she did. And so at Halloween time, it also became a costume rental place. And so I had some interesting ones in high school. One year I went as a genie. One year we went as Fred and Barney. I have a friend named Lisa who's much shorter than me. And they were like full body costumes with like felt heads that went over. They were like full ass costumes. And we won the costume of the year when we like for the pep rally we had that day. Lisa and I won. One year for bingo, I dressed up as a chicken in a full chicken costume.
You had an unfair advantage.
Yeah, I really did. Mom would let me take whatever I wanted. And so my friend dressed up as an egg, and we went to bingo as a chicken and an egg to try to win a contest. We did not win. So
I used to, there in BG, Sabrina's department would have a Halloween party that had a costume contest, and I was in it, a group contest. So each cohort would do a group costume, so like an ensemble. And so I was in it one year when we did Stranger Things, and I think about that a lot because I wasn't particularly I had a very easy character to do. I had the Dustin character, so that's just a sweatshirt and a baseball hat, and like a curly wig. But the person who dressed up as Barb, did you ever watch Stranger Things?
I watched the first two seasons.
You remember how everybody was like justice for Barb?
Yeah.
The person who was our Barb, they just fucking slayed it. They like did the whole. I think it was their hair, but they like sprayed it red so that because to be like Barb's, they had the trapper keeper and they like even practiced like posture and standing. Like I was like, you're incredible. And the person who was Winona Ryder's character, she looked exactly like her. She wore the green jacket. She carried around a phone. It was dead on. You know how she like screams into the phone in the first season?
Yeah.
Like, give me back my son. And somebody else was the lights. So somebody like the wall of the lights and it was so clear what it was. And I was like, oh my God, we are killing it. Like we're gonna get this. Then I can't remember who there was another cohort. They beat us and they were, I mean, fine or whatever, but we were way better. And I was like, what the hell happened? And Sabrina was like, they didn't know, they haven't seen Stranger Things. They didn't know what we were doing. And I was like, we did this to you. This is the cultural studies influence. Like it's gonna go over. It's gonna be great, but it's gonna go over 90% of people's heads.
Isn't that mostly what we do?
Yeah, because it had just come out, and so we were
Uh,
like, "This is gonna be huge."
yeah.
Did you ever finish Wayward?
No, we didn't.
I watched that Boots yesterday. I've been like over the past 2 days. I like binged the whole thing. It's another Netflix one. It's based on a book called The Pink Marine, and it's a gay person who joins the Marines.
Is it anywhere good?
I mean, I watched it the whole thing. I don't know what it was trying to do. Throughout the whole thing, there's this tension about kind of loving something that doesn't love you back. Like he joins the Marines kind of on a whim because his friend invites him to join in the buddy system. They had all these like recruitment tactics in the set in 1990, so it's still very much not allowed to be gay. And it's throughout the whole thing, it's doing this tension of like, do I be myself or do I stay in the closet and become a Marine? And it's never answered. It's never resolved. At the end, there's like this whole other thing about whether he's of age or not because his mom is a pathological liar. And the question of whether he ever comes out or not is just dropped. And then at the end of it, the first Iraq war starts. I mean, it was fine until it just ended and nothing was resolved.
Huh. That would be frustrating.
But it's based on a memoir, and so that can be difficult. You know how I posted that I hadn't seen Twilight yet, but I was thinking about doing it?
Yeah. Have you watched it yet?
Sabrina and I watched the first one the other night, and man.
You didn't know what you were missing, did you?
Well, it was so in the zeitgeist, and there were clips of it everywhere, and I'd read the first book, and so I just kind of felt like I had seen it, but no, man, it hits different, like watching it beginning to end. Like the decisions they made with the editing, with the soundtrack, with the way that they like painted everybody. These people are corpses. I don't understand. Like, why does nobody put it together? Carlisle, he's white.
Right.
He looks like he's rotting. And then him running really fast just fucking slayed me, dude. I was not ready for that one.
Does he sparkle in the first one?
Yeah. Yeah. And I knew about the sparkling, and I had seen like gifs of it, and I still don't fully understand it. There's no way that secret would have been kept.
Right.
If vampires sparkled, that would firmly be a part of the lore of vampires in the universe. But yeah, him running around with her on his back, running up trees, like he's somewhere between flying and like superpowers and super strength, because I was like, well, he's not holding on to it. He's literally just running up this tree. So yeah, it was fun. It was an experience. So another way that I was familiar with it without having seen it was through that TikTok account of the person who does an impression of Jasper. Have you seen this person on TikTok?
No.
There's just this expression he makes throughout the entire movie that looks like he's like trying not to fart. And his red eyes, they all have reddy brown eyes, and then his like frosted tip hair and pale face. And it was just every time he was on screen, all I could do was laugh.
Did you ever watch the Friends episode where he talks about smell the fart acting?
Yeah. Maybe that's what they were doing. I don't know. Because I asked Sabrina, because I was like, why is everybody making this face like they're about to sneeze? Because it was all of them. It was Edward and Bella and Carlisle. She said that she thought they were trying to portray like barely restrained desire or something. So yeah, next up is, I guess it's called Moo Moon, and Sabrina says it's even angstier. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. I read with my niece. I read all of the Twilight books. I read all the Harry Potter books. I read the Hunger Games. I read all of those with her over the years, and I enjoyed the Twilight books well enough. But I mean, they were like candy to, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
too sugary, sweet, and pop culture-y.
Yeah, I think you had to be its demographic.
Yeah.
What Sabrina was saying was that she was 15 or 16. And so it cut straight into the brain, like hit exact wavelength. And I would have been 27. But I did read the first one, and I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, I remember like not hating it, but also not really getting it. And I guess I just decided not to read anymore. I remember the Hunger Games and the Harry Potters, of course, and then the Percy Jacksons.
I didn't read those.
He loves mythology a lot. Rick Riordan, the guy who wrote like Percy Jackson. There's another one. Percy Jackson is Greek mythology. There's another one whose name I'm blanking on. that's Roman, and there's another one that's Egyptian. And he does this thing which is like all writers know you don't do. He writes in the present tense, and so it's not possible for any of the characters to be in danger. The Egyptian one in particular, it's dictated. So it's these characters have dictated everything that happened to them. And it's like, okay, well, they survived, I guess.
Right?
They made it back to tell the story. So that annoyed me. Like he's just not as good a writer as what's her name that wrote the Hunger Games? I think Suzanne Collins is actually a pretty good. She's a decent writer.
I read the last book that came out.
The one that the movie's based on.
They know that because they came out with a bards and songbirds.
Oh right, I did not read it.
Yeah, I read that one too. I figured if I read all the other ones, I might as well.
Yeah, I'm just not a reader anymore. I guess maybe one day.
This week I decided my brain needed a break, and I read a little bit for fun. So
Yeah.
I needed a break from the news.
Well, our sponsor is actually on theme, so let's hear from them while we're here. This week's episode of Queer Next is sponsored by DIY Halloween costumes. Halloween costumes made entirely from yard sale finds, quilting scraps, willpower, some glitter glue. Because even if there was a spirit Halloween around these parts, who would spend $69.99 on a culturally insensitive caricature from a box when you can make your own? With just a little creativity and a lot of pre-planning, you'll leave the neighbors speechless when you mount their porch with balloons stuffed down the front of your cow print vest, straw blonde wig under a ragged felt hat proclaiming to be Dolly Parton. The items that make up your look weren't purchased in a store with their current use in mind, but you like to think of it as upcycling. They didn't come in a plastic bag with their characterization printed on the label. You are free to make the items into anything you want. A little lace, a little desperation, and a lot of glitter holding it all together. You're not wearing a costume, but a character. You're Barbie, but the year the creek reached the church steps, or zombie apocalypse cowboy. You don't need a label costume when you are the concept. Sexy ghost? How about Appalachian spectral realness? Yard sale Halloween costumes don't tear like their plastic, single-use store-bought counterparts. Next year, the same 3 items can be rearranged into something new. And after trick-or-treating is done, and you dutifully wait while Mommy checks your Tootsie Rolls for razor blades, you'll already be planning next year's fantasy, thinking how lucky your dreary holler is to have such creative genius in their midst. You're welcome, world. Homemade Halloween costumes, because queer creativity and rural resourcefulness are the same muscle. Did you have to check your candy for razor blades?
No, my mom was not paranoid whatsoever.
Oh, man. It took me a long time to realize how fucking crazy that was.
Yeah. Some people will take it to the hospital and get it x-rayed.
Really?
That was a thing.
Who's got x-ray candy money?
I don't know.
Dang. Did you take, like, the jack-o'-lantern, or were you a
Pillowcase?
pillowcase
I was
person?
a pillowcaser.
Yeah, pillowcase all the way.
Yeah.
Wad that thing, like, fill it up, wad it up, and throw it over your shoulder like a
Do your
knapsack.
candy hang low? Does it wobble to and fro? Can you tie it in a knot? Can you tie
Can
it
you
in
tie
a bow?
it in a bow?
Can you throw it over your shoulder like a continental soldier?
Continental
Does your
soldier.
candy hang low? It's my turn to sing this week, listeners.
Sometimes it was like we would drive to trick or treat. Somebody would like drive us to the street and we'd walk down it. I remember that for some years. And then once I got old enough, I just had to walk everybody.
Did you just go to did you go to the good neighborhoods where you get the big candy bars?
We lived in Jellicoe.
There were no good neighborhoods?
No.
We went to town.
I mean, we were in our trailer park and we would go down the line in the trailer park. And then there was the street that went the rest of the way down to the street. There were 2 red lights in Jellicoe, and we lived down from one of them. And we would go to other streets, but not because they had particularly good candy, but some people decorated a little more fierce than others. So, like, especially the people that actually lived on the mountainsides, they would, like, I think we've talked about this before, they would go all out on decorations up in the hills, in the hollers and stuff. So we wouldn't go for candy, and sometimes they wouldn't even be out there giving out candy. It'd just be like, we made you this amazing view.
Right.
No candy. Go somewhere else for you Snickers bar.
We spent all of our money on this.
Yeah. And apparently that was fine with everyone.
We had one family that would give out pennies. They just
Mm,
had buckets of pennies on the porch, and you come up, they give you a couple pennies.
all right.
Yeah,
Is that a superstition?
I don't know. That was just one of our neighbors. That was what they always did.
Hmm. I mean, I remember like having candy that I would be hoping for, like go to a house and it'd be like they would give us I'm trying to think of some sort of candy like a sucker, like a dot sucker. And I didn't want those. And so sometimes I'd be like, oh, this sucks. And I would try to trick the other kids into giving me their good candy.
That was your job as the oldest
Yeah.
child.
And then you come home and you turn up all your sacks and there's a mountain of candy in the floor and you're immediately told you can't eat it all. You can have 2 pieces tonight. What?
Have you ever seen the Jimmy Kimmel where he tells it the parents tell the kids they've eaten their candy?
Mm.
Oh, they're hilarious. The day after trick or treat, the kids wake up and they go to look for their candy, and their parents are like, "Well, we ate it."
Oh
And
my
the
God.
temper tantrums they throw are hilarious.
I mean, yeah, that's so mean.
Oh, Jimmy Kimmel does stuff like that. I mean, 'cause it doesn't hurt the kid in any way. You know what I mean? They finally tell him, we didn't eat it. Here it is, or whatever. But the way the kids freak out is funny.
Well, they worked hard for that shit. They dressed up like somebody else and walked around all night, debased themselves. All
If you ever are in blue and you want to watch something funny, that's a good one to pull up.
right. Do you want to give us a noun of Appalachian interest?
I do. I have a special one for us this week.
Yay!
All right. Appalachians might not always agree on how to pronounce Appalachia or whether musical instruments belong in church, but just about every holler adjacent soul under 40 agrees on this. Little Bubby Child is good for the spirit. The artist is Kenneth Pergram, a Gen Z creator from Eastern Kentucky. What started as a family-flavored webcomic turned into an ensemble that feels like home, oddly relatable, a little sentimental, and very, very funny. The title character comes from Kenneth's real-life brother Wade, red hair, braided rat tail, and a couple of regional clogging championships under his belt. You'll also meet Mama Eula Pergram, sweet as a church lady with a taste for bedazzled Western blazers, and Papa Zenith Pergram, a rowdy micro-grabber who once inspired the classic, "If God didn't want us to eat meat, he wouldn't have given us dynamite to fish with." The drawings hit like a crazy quilt of family reunion chatter and blue-haired church lady whispers, usually a single panel with sketched on a Hardy's napkin energy. There's a squat teen with a Dorito heart tattoo because them chips meant so much, and the old-timer in the cap that reads, "In Backer We Trust." That's tobacco for the uninitiated, complaining that the TV news captioned him like he was speaking a foreign language. What makes Little Bubby Child special is how ordinary it is. The everyday weird, the tenderness, the sideways wisdom. Kenneth shows that the beauty of a place can live in the small stuff. Storm talk, porch talk, and jokes we only tell on our own. Little Bubby Child is Appalachian through and through and internet ready to boot. This week's noun of Appalachian interest. Send your pics, human, critter, object, or concept to mailbag at queerdex.com if you would like us to feature it.
Yeah. Please let us know. Oh, God, that's a good pull.
When I do the newsletter, I'll make sure to include a couple of Little Bubby Child cartoons.
Yeah. And obviously, listeners, if you don't know about Little Bubby Child, go.
Google that.
Is he related to the Dale Stibbles page? You know Dale Stibbles?
He's the artist. Or the other, I think that's a pen name.
Okay, because I see them interacting a lot online, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, these are either the same person or they're just very good friends.
Yeah. And I certainly see my mamaw and his mamaw.
Mm. You know what it kind of reminds me of is one of the few times I ever felt like I actually saw something that I vibed with as an Appalachian, in my flavor of it, I guess, because obviously Appalachia's not a monolith, was when I saw that show Squidbillies. Did you ever see that show?
Nope.
Okay, it was on Adult Swim in the 2000s, I think. There was a guy named Unknown Henson, who's from Knoxville, I believe, from the Cumberland Gap area, voiced, and they're squids. They're squids, but they live above ground, and they live in a holler, and the main squid's name is Early Kyler, and he... man, you got to watch Squidbillies. It's too good. And he's a musician, but he has a very he does this voice for Early that is you won't be able to stop listening.
Okay.
Yeah. And he does stuff like cut up a boat. He cuts a boat in half so he can put a truck inside it, and he calls it his truck boat truck. Or I guess it'd be the other way around. He cut the truck in half and put a boat in the middle. It's ridiculous, but everything he does, I'm like, God, that's so. I've, of course, never seen somebody do that in real life, but I can totally imagine it.
100%.
And Little Bubby Child makes me think of Squidbillies a lot.
Yeah. He makes me think of my cousins. I do love me some Little Bubby Child. I just thought he would be a good one because I was hoping to introduce him to some more
Yeah.
of our listeners because his work needs to be spread far and wide.
Yep, absolutely. I've got Sabrina got me for my birthday the certified house cat hat. It's a trucker hat, and it's got certified house cat airbrushed on the top. It's one of my prized possessions.
The airbrushing is so perfect.
Isn't it? That's really the detail that does it.
Yeah. Do you remember you could buy those at the fair and stuff like that?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
sit down and they do it in front of you there.
Yeah.
Do you remember puff paint shirts?
Yeah.
Oh man, let's bring those back. I want to see right now if you can you get puff paint.
What the hypercolor? I loved hypercolor shirts too. Do you remember those? They changed color as you wore them.
Yeah, yeah. There is still puff paint. They got the old school stuff at Walmart. Ooh, let's make us some queer neck shirts.
Get the hot pink paint.
Hell yeah. Well, I think by the time this episode comes out, no, it won't be Halloween yet. It's going to come out on the 27th. But I guess this will be our pre-Halloween episode. So
Yeah.
by the time you hear this, y'all, it'll be time to get ready for that Halloween live show. I'm making some games, and we're gonna just hang out and be dorks in our costumes, and we're gonna watch a movie. So make sure to subscribe to the YouTube. That's what we'll be. I'll put that link in the show notes. Beck will put it in the newsletter. Make sure to get you what you need to get there, and we'll just hang out and have a good time. If it's your pregame, awesome. We'll be glad that you spend it with us. And if it's all you do for Halloween, you did great.
At least you're doing something.
That's all right.
And if anybody wants to make some Rice Krispie treats and send them to me, that's okay too. Because what's Halloween without Rice Krispie treats?
Is that your go-to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a Rice Krispie treat. Also love some puppy chow.
Yeah. That's Shannon's one of her favorites.
Yeah. Let's make some treats for show and tell.
Okay.
I need to make myself do more fun things. Well, thanks to the listeners. We would be having a lot less fun doing this if it wasn't for y'all being so participatory and commenting and interacting with us online and stuff, and just kind of make it all the more special. So thanks for being here every week, and tell a friend if you haven't yet. Rate us on iTunes or wherever you listen. Give us a 5-star rating or write a review. That helps people find us. What else? Subscribe to the newsletter so you can see what Beck puts together every week. And we'll see you on Halloween.
I'm excited. It's the first time I'm dressing up in like a decade.
Yeah. Last year I did dress up as a redneck wizard, which was just I put on coveralls and a robe I already had. And carried around a slingshot instead of a wand.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'll do better this year.
Yeah.
It'll probably still involve overalls, though.
Well, that's fine. Be comfortable.
Well, we'll see you on Halloween and every Monday after that. Say hi to your mom and them.
Bye.